Okay, welcome back, YouTube. Let's see if I can actually get our character fed before we lose our well-fed bonus. And I just realized something I forgot to do before we slept last night.
I need to find food.
Just forgot to leave the bear hideout.
I would drink almost anything about now.
Well, you will be doing some combination of both of us. In fact, actually, to make sure that we do not lose our well-fed bonus, drink that cup of herbal tea. That should buy us enough time to get down to the fish. I suppose with our third bear down, the next thing to be sort of focusing on is probably getting some more fishing tackle going. So that means I need to find a couple pieces of scrap metal and bend them into hooks. I can see that the blizzard has graced us with some more loot. Well, maybe I'm wrong and it's just graced us with some more teas. Because it could be too far out on the thin ice again. Have 2 liters of water for the trip. Yeah. Has dropped us a big load of teas. Before I forget, let's make that note. So today is the 31st. So day 31. One bear hunt. I think it's 12 days for bear hide? Or is it more than that? 12 sounds about right. Actually, it might be more than that. But yeah, so the first set of bear hides aren't done yet. They still got another five something days to go. So no need to run back to Mystery Lake to make the bear coat, because it's not time yet. I think this is going to be our first beachcombing loot that we're actually going to get. Find a bit of fish, find a bit of leather. Wood. Cattail. And a stick.
So cold. Just want to lay down for a bit.
This is Jackrabbit Island. Because we're carrying the uncooked fish, we smell and have apparently tracked the wolf into the rabbits. As you might imagine, Jackrabbit Island has, you know, some rabbits. Ah, yes, the magic of stealing from the wolves. cold is it out? Oops, wrong one. Minus 21 degrees. Okay, so we're not starting a fire to get warm because we're not going to get warm with the poultry sticks we've got. Instead, the quickest way to get warm is probably to step inside and disassemble the rabbit inside. And then we can just leave the guts and pelt here. We go back outside, we can leave the rabbit with the fish. Or we can cook them. I haven't decided which one. It's going to depend upon the weather when we get outside. We just did a cursory whatever's on the counter look the first time through. This time I've got one bit more time, so I'm going to take the time to actually go through all the cabinets. And kind of a side effect reinforcing the idea from before that it wasn't worth going through the cabinets. Because I don't think I found anything. Well, didn't find anything of particular value. So as one way to RP Interloper is your character is very picky on what he picks up, so it's not that he's not finding things in the drawers, it's that he's finding things that just like don't fit.
That'll come in handy.
Aren't his color, that sort of stuff. Not that he's not finding anything. I wouldn't imagine the place isn't completely empty. Oh, I did find a couple items, so it definitely isn't completely empty, just mostly empty. I don't think any of those items are actually an upgrade over what I had before. Yeah, no. And definitely no. And while I'm on it, drop you as well. How cold are we? -8. When we got 11 sticks, we can work that. I can work that. Especially if I can do it with free fire. Yes, free fire. Free ignition. Get this lit, throw 9 sticks on the fire, and throw the stuff on to cook. Nice tasty meal.
Turned out pretty well.
Did I eat the whole fish? No, we still got some cooked fish. My guess is there's probably Murray serves as a human off the cliff here. Fell off the cliff and probably broke something irreparably. I am apparently tracking a wolf, attracting a wolf with my fish in my pocket. Oh, no. Rabbit's tracking a wolf. I don't need all that rabbit. That rabbit's too much effort. I don't have the capacity to cook it right now. Leave the fish here. What's our cooking level looking like these days? Okay, still a good 10-20 cooking, so I'm not gonna rush to get the bear cooked. So we got moose hide curing. We got now 3 bears curing. I suppose as far as things we probably want killed to cure, we got maybe 1 more bear on the list. And then we're just passing time for the stuff to start curing, so we're actually at the point where we want to start mapping. Trying to decide which bear to go for bear number 4. My mind is saying that probably going for the one out in Desolation Point might actually be a doable choice. Go back to where it started for the 4th bear. Would make it a bit of a hike, come get the hide at the end, but don't necessarily need to leave the hide out there, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Is I'll start the hike out to Desolation Point to hunt that bear. But first, I know of a good source of charcoal for the mapping we're gonna do, which is our fire where we cook the moose. So I'm gonna go pick up charcoal from that fire. Two from that fire. That was a pretty short fire, too. I expected 1, actually. This moose one will have a lot on it, though. There we go. 22 fire, or 22 charcoal. How many sticks do I have? Plenty of sticks. Get a little bit of a fire going, and we'll do a quick map here, while the weather looks good.
Come on. Come on.
Let's do 30 minutes on the fire for the circle mapping. Oh, found one of my arrows.
This'll come in handy.
So I still think I'm missing one, but you know, missing one is not that bad. Definitely work with missing only one. Huh, it's gonna work with a missing only two, so missing only one is even better. So we're heading out to Desolation Point. We definitely want to take the hammer with us, so we can leave it at the forge. So we come in here and we grab our heavy, heavy hammer. Anything else I want to leave behind? Got a bunch of torches. We can leave those behind as we go. On the clothing. Yeah. And I suppose that's the one problem with the heavy hammer. As you might imagine, for something called heavy, well, something described as heavy, it's surprisingly heavy. Or, well, maybe unsurprisingly heavy. Yep, so the grand plan being to get to Desolation Point. It's basically down this road until we... road ends up... Actually, no, it's just down this road. We just follow the road. Follow the road until we get to the transition zone, and then we... when the road ends up, I think it's a landslide has blocked the road. We take the detour up to the mine, take the mine through. One thing we may run into is There's not super great hunting spots in Desolation Point that aren't predators, right? There's almost always wolves there, and there's almost always bear there, and you can be pretty predictable with them, but the deer are a lot less predictable. There's that one decent rabbit spot. The rabbit spot's obviously not going to provide enough food to sustain a fully grown man for very long. So I think that's a naturally occurring deer carcass out there and not made by a wolf. And I think there's another naturally occurring carcass over here. So is RP why you could imagine they're made by a wolf, but the ones that are default spawned do not despawn, no matter how long you don't interact with them. As long as you don't interact with them. I think they start decaying once you interact with them, so if you tell the game you know that there's a carcass someplace, the game will treat you as if, or treat it if it's if you know it's there. Begin decaying, following the normal decay rules. And to be fair, the normal carcasses are really only really good for getting the crafting materials off of them really early. They don't really have a good amount of meat, right? So there's a deer down there. He's probably got 1 kilogram of meat on him. Which I suppose if you're desperate is not nothing, but that's barely going to refund the fact that he's still got his 2 guts and his 1 hide on him. Early game. At this point, I've got enough carcass harvesting experience that the calorie cost is down a lot. It's been quite a while since I was here if I wasn't able to loot the trunk. Well, I may have not stopped as well. Oh no, apparently I did stop here because the interior has been searched. No battery in the hood. Yes, Commuter's Lament. So obviously there's been a partial landslide here that's blocked the travel path to cars. The highway effectively ends for all but foot traffic, so we can keep going through. So this is one of the areas where we can do beachcombing, so I will probably go along the beach, which is something I haven't necessarily done here. Well, I haven't done here in stream, right? Because going along the beach usually takes you past the wolves, which could be a little risky if you don't have good fire. The beach here is pretty short, so there's not necessarily going to be very much along it, but might find something interesting. Stick. Old toque. Another stick. Oh, nice. This and the frequency at which I sort of billy goat is why I leave the crampons on. Even when I'm not hiking, or not climbing often. Once I get the moosehide satchel, I might wear that as the outer, in which case I'll use the crampons less, but for the moment they're a decent outer. Do I actually have them in the outer position? Yeah, I do have them in the outer position. That's about half of the coast that we can beachcomb here. Oh my, we often forget about this cave. Pork and beans. Now I'm far less worried about having food to cook, because now I have food to cook. Well, I'm decently close to the coast here, but I'm not necessarily seeing anything. Might just be a day for beachcombing. So at the same time, we got one toque, so that's a cloth, and a couple sticks, which aren't completely terrible. No, that's nothing. Okay, that's basically the beachcomb. It's not as big as Coastal Highway, not as big as Desolation Point, but it's got a little bit of stuff. Definitely a better place to beachcomb on lower difficulties, though. Not sure. Yeah, I think that's too steep to go up. Go up the middle here. See the campfire from earlier. Take the charcoal out of it. By earlier, I mean like way earlier. That would have been, what? I might have still been episode 1 back then. I think our character right now is warm, or is a little cold due to becoming a little wet. I think the precipitation has been making us moist. Yeah, you can see some of the stuff starting to get wet. I'll leave the cured birch for the return trip. You don't need it right now, and it'll make us even slower. So as is the case with many caves, the coal in sort of natural locations for them to be tend to respawn. So we can pick up a bit of coal coming through here.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
And when you're presented with very renewable resources, it's often a wise idea, if you're not in a rush, to gather them, because then it can respawn. So in this case, all the coal I'm picking up, even if I don't take it out of the cave with me, I just leave it all near the door. Because I moved it from where it's supposed to be, it can then respawn later. Pretty sure I searched you on the way through. Yep. So that's probably non-natural. So if I took that coal probably would not respawn in their little crate there. Did I search you? Yes. And you can tell either I didn't pick any of this coming up the first time, or most of it's respawned, because there's a lot of coal in here. Well, I suppose it is a coal mine, so you'd be suspicious if there wasn't coal in the coal mine.
Something's gotta go.
I'm going to make use of this entry-exit here as a quick save point. This is where I'm going to put a cut in for YouTube, so YouTube, I'll see you again tomorrow.